This is a guide to the main features of the church building that you will find in all Church of England churches. The layout of a church is in the form of a cross and is often in a prominent position in the settlement, as when it was built it was the most important building, and here at Newton Flotman the church is on a hill and easily visible from the A140, one of the main roads out of Norwich dating back to Roman times. Having come through the porch, the first feature you see is the font, close to the door, reflecting the fact that baptism is the first step on the journey of faith. The font hood is removed for the baptism ceremony, usually of a baby or toddler, and water is placed in a bowl in the font. It is blessed and then poured over the head of the child in the name of the Father, Son and Holy Spirit. The font hood is a simple early 20th century design with a dove on the top. The dove is a symbol of peace and blessing, and when Jesus was baptised by his cousin John in the River Jordan, John testifies to seeing the Holy Spirit descend upon Jesus like a dove. To the left, there is the church tower, which houses the bells, which are rung to remind worshippers that there is a service and to announce national events. The area at the bottom of the tower behind the curtain is our church's vestry, where the vicar robes and materials for worship are stored. To the right of the tower is the War Memorial, where those who lost their lives in the First and Second World Wars are named and remembered. As we turn to the right, you walk down the aisle in the nave with pews either side. The poppy head pew ends are medieval. Look out for the sheep and the dog pew ends. This is the area where the congregation sits for services. Before we move out of the nave, to the right we see the desk where the vicar leads the service and the Bible is read. We do have a special Bible reading stand called a lectern. Look behind a curtain in the chancel to see if you can see where it is stored. To the left we can see the pulpit. This is where the vicar stands, traditionally to deliver their sermon, a special talk which usually picks out and explains key messages of the Bible reading set for the day. For most services held here, the vicar usually uses the prayer desk by the piano. Stand on the steps and look at the window ahead of you and behind you. These are stained glass windows depicting important stages in Jesus' life and the saints that followed him. You have now entered the chancel. This is the most sacred part of the church. Sometimes a choir sits here and sings to lead the worship beside the organ. People come to receive communion at the altar rail. Beyond the rail, only the vicar and those chosen to help are able to stand there during the service and administer Holy Communion. This is a bit like the holy place in temples in Jesus' time, and even further back in Moses' time in the holy tents that they used as they were travelling across the desert. The candles on the altar are lit during the service to remind us of the presence of God and that Jesus is the light of the world. To the left you can see the monument of Thomas Blunderville, who lived in Elizabethan times. He was a linguist, horse expert, author and inventor of the modern protractor. Can you see anything on the monument that gives this away? Remember the lectern? It's hiding behind the blue curtain. Behind the board is the priest's door, which gave the vicar a shortcut. It leads to the rectory, which at one stage was where Holland House now is, over the A140. As you turn to leave and move down the nave, take a look at the roundels in the window on the left. And if it's a Saturday, between 10 and 12, go through to the church room to enjoy some refreshments. Do have a look round the outside of the church too, to see the gargoyles on the tower and a tiny piece of medieval glass in the organ loft on the north side.